Hello once again and welcome back to Trails from Zero. And I did it again. Missed yet another week. But with good reason. We've been working very hard. We are up to version 0.97.2. So we went straight from 6 to 7. And a lot of things have changed. You might notice some of it immediately if you have a really keen eye. Mainly, a lot of user interface stuff has changed. We've been working on cleaning that up a little bit. So let's start going around Crossbell City. But we have to start off by going into the Armory shop that's right upstairs. This is Jintan Armory. As much as I want to say come on in and have a look around, I'm afraid I can't. You can't buy a weapon in Crossbell without a license, kids. So if this is a prank, then beat it. We're actually from the CPD, sir. Sorry for the confusion. Y'all are police officers? Oh, you must be those kids Sergey told me about. Alright. Feel free to take a look around the shop. When you're ready to check out, show me your detective notebook. That'll substitute as a license. So yeah, Jerome sells all of your weapons. I think he's the only one that sells weapons in the game. That might be accurate. And you get all your starter game stuff and a few accessories. But if we talk to him again... Oh yeah, some engineer-looking guy stopped by recently. Left something he called an orbital staff with me. Said it's some fancy new weapon, but who the heck would I ever sell a fishy thing like this to? An orbital staff, he said? That's what Tio uses, isn't it? Didn't she say it was still in the testing phase of its development, though? Forget who you're selling it to. How are you able to sell it in the first place? The man looks like an engineer. This whole thing is setting off all sorts of alarms for me personally. Actually, that man might have been my boss. Boss, huh? From the Foundation? Yes, exactly. He may have come to drop off a newer model of the orbital staff for me to test. I don't understand why he couldn't simply give it to me directly. Yeah. Why couldn't he have just handed it to himself? Not sure what the deal with this thing is, but I could sell it to the girl, right? Buy it then. I already had to pay for the shipment. I love that they have to explain this away because it's like, why would you need to buy new weapons for Tio given that she has a unique weapon that's not available on public market? And the answer is that her boss from the Foundation just comes here and drops them off for her to buy. It makes no sense. And Falcom recognizes that it's really dumb. Are you gonna put up the title card again? I think they do. There it is, Central Square. Phew, this place hasn't changed one bit. A little noisier, maybe. Well, that's no surprise given how this is more or less the heart of the city. Just look at these stores and restaurants. You can get all your essentials here. It also functions as a hub to head to other districts if you're in a hurry. And it's only gotten busier with the recent surge in orbital vehicles. Sure looks that way. Okay, everyone, how about we drop by the orbital store next? You mean that orbital factory the chief mentioned? Word around town is that the whole place got a huge makeover. Real fancy now. Indeed. This new type of factory focuses more on commercialized orbital products. A formal contract with the police was drafted to improve the CPD's orbital capabilities. We should be able to rely on them for any of our orbital needs. We'll soon become regulars there if that's the case. So, should we stop by there before going to the other districts? Yeah, it should be that corner building over there. Central Square includes a department store, orbital factory, armory, and restaurant. Since almost everything you need is available here, it's a good idea to visit if you ever need to stock up. Jintan, the city's orbital store, is located on Central Square's eastern side. Do I have to go there? Can I leave? No, they're gonna make me go. Darn it, I wanted to go south first. Oh well. Yeah, let's go into Jintan. Wow, so this is that orbital store people have been clamoring about, huh? From the biggest orbital car to the smallest orbment, they have it all. On top of that, their new redesign gives off that sleek and modern feeling, doesn't it? Hard to believe that this was a simple factory 3 years ago. Anyway, we should look for the technician to adjust our orbments. Customer service should be able to point us in the right direction. They keep the equipment behind the counter, so let's ask for their help. Alright, let's ask at the counter then. So, Jintan, however you want to say it, is, it used to be an orbital factory, like what we saw in Liberal, a little tiny shop where they just, you know, took care of your orbments, but now it's more like a department store, sort of. I don't know what's a good thing to compare it to. Stores that wouldn't be in business anymore, like Sears. I was gonna, like, name something like that, and I was like, wait, that doesn't exist anymore, does it? Oh well. And if we talk to this girl... Howdy everyone, welcome to Jintan Orbital Factory. Shoot, I mean, welcome to Jintan Orbital Store. Oh no way! Lloyd, is that you? Wendy, wait a second, what are you doing here? How rude. Can't you tell by looking at me? I'm a Jintan engineer. Seriously? I knew you mentioned you were looking for a job in your letters. I just wasn't really expecting to run into you while working. Oh, this lovely lady is an old friend of yours, Lloyd. Huh, I'm a little jealous. Want to go on a date when your shift ends? Now isn't the time for this, Randy. We're on duty, for crying out loud. It's nice to meet you, Wendy. I'd heard great things about Jintan, but the rumors don't do it justice. Oh, are you guys Lloyd's colleagues? Truth be told, the store was decorated based on the owner's personal tastes. I should have mentioned this sooner, but this is customer service. From here, we can provide maintenance for all of your orbments needs. Alright, we'll be leaving our orbments in your capable hands from now on, Wendy. Oh, but our orbments are the Enigma models. Is that going to be an issue? Oh wow, so you guys got your hands on the brand new models, huh? Just leave it to me. I should have the tools for them right here. I have a few regulars that use that model too. Man, Bracers sure love their orbments. Really? So the Bracer Guild's connections have allowed them to acquire cutting-edge technology as well. Huh, damn. We better catch up or else they're gonna leave us in the dust. This isn't a laughing matter, Randy. Come on, it's not a big deal. Anyway, I'd recommend getting used to us pestering you, Wendy. I'll be counting on you for any orbit problems we have. No problem, leave it to me. Whenever you get that itch to modify your orbit, just let me know and I'll get you all set up. Also, if you have any general questions about your orbits, just ask away. You're speaking to an Orbital Pro after all. If you select Upgrade to /Synthesize at the Orbital Store, you can synthesize new quartz or open slots in your tactical orbits. If you synthesize new quartz and place them in your orbits, you'll be able to use new arts. Select quartz from the menu. If you open orbit slots, the number of quartz you can set will increase, while also increasing your maximum EP. Select slot from the menu. To use each function, crystal fragments called Sepith are required. You can obtain Sepith by defeating monsters. I'm going to change crystal fragments to septium fragments. I mean, same idea, but whatever. So Wendy here is an old friend of Lloyd's, back when he used to live in Crossbell. You know, this Orbital Store was actually just an ordinary factory up until last year. But when the previous manager was replaced, the new manager's store policies aimed to make Jintan more appealing to customers. Personally, I much prefer the unrefined workshop aesthetic to this. Yeah, that image definitely suits you better, Wendy. I'm sorry, what was that, Lloyd? Sorry, it was nothing. Oh yeah, I heard my old teacher opened up his own store downtown. If you guys find the time, it might be worth popping in to say hello. So this is where you get your quartz done and you can upgrade all of your slots and whatnot, which of course I don't need to do, because New Game Plus. That's Choco. She works at the counter alongside Wendy. She knows a lot less about orbments. This is her father, Basilio. Or Basilio? Whatever. But yeah, he's always coming in here to peek in on Choco to like keep an eye on her, make sure she's doing okay. This is Fernand. He's the manager of Jintan. And Mizette, I believe your name is. She just wanders around because she really likes orbments. In fact, I think the first time she says like, oh, I just had to stop in. I've never been to this place before. And then she never leaves for the entire game. There we go. We learned about orbments. Will you let me leave Central Square now, please? Yay. Station Street. Told you. Name subject to change. Not anymore though, now it's set in stone. It is Station Street. Some of you might know about a 1.02 patch that came out in some other game recently where this name was finally made consistent. Thank you. Now we have a name for it. Billy here works for Rhymes Transport. They just deliver stuff around the state. You two are tourists. Well, not really tourists, but you're from Arabonia. You're Felicia. She's the daughter of a merchant here to acquire septium in Crossbell State. They almost never let you go into Crossbell Station, unfortunately. You can see on the sign that the Crossbell Station is managed by the Zamurian Railroad Corporation. Lyd here loves trains. He's a train fanatic. Talk to him anytime you want. He'll tell you about trains. Also, you can go back into the geofront whenever you really want now. Let's hit up the other places in Central Square. This is Mimi. She's just a little girl that likes to talk to you from every now and then, you know. This is her father, Abel, who works... He has a government job. I can't remember what exactly his position is. Something like, I don't know, transportation or something. Old man Kant sits on this bench and talks about the happenings. Rains, my dude, you're almost never here, except for this one time. Honestly, how could someone like Grace get as far as she has in life? She's off doing who knows what while the deadline is almost here. So Rains here works at the Crossbell News Service for the Times. And he's looking for Grace. Vincep Cafe. You're a tourist. Yeah, there are nameless tourists that show up every now and then. This is Nono. She works here at Vincep. This is the owner, manager, Hoysdorf. Welcome to Vincep. This is for dine-in or carry-out. If you wish to do both, that can be arranged as well. Simply say so when placing your order. Flot here likes to sip coffee and dish about all the rumors going around in the city. You're also probably tourist, aren't you? Or just citizen. Back in the kitchen, we've got Braun here, who's the veteran chef. And Celteo, the womanizing chef in training. This is Pruna and Linley. They stand here in front of Times department store the entire game, and they generally talk about guys that they like and other gossip. They really are big fans of Arios. Times department store. Pretty much, other than your orbital needs, you can get almost everything else here. Welcome to Legion's Foods. This is Gladys. Yes, Gladys. Some of you who really know your Japanese, Kiseki, might be going, what? And it wasn't our decision. Baggio here, he's typically buying groceries for his family. He's also trying to get into, I believe, medical college? He's like usually looking for study materials. This is Cynthia, the main receptionist here at Times. She's like the veteran one who's really great at everything. Perfect customer service. And then you got Pearl here, who's kind of like her underling. Or like junior, I guess. She's not quite as talented as Cynthia, but she's trying her best. Let's talk to the manager, Neston. Good afternoon, welcome to Times Department Store. Oh, aren't you? Miss Ellie, I knew I recognized you. Thank you very much for gracing us with your presence today. Miss Ellie? What's that all about? Oh, well, you see, my grandfather and Neston are longtime acquaintances. Miss Ellie's been precious clientele for this store ever since she was a child. She is given VIP treatment? Huh, I knew it! She's a spoiled princess. Cut it out, you guys! By the way, Miss Ellie, I heard that you were looking for employment with the CPD after returning from your studies abroad. That's correct. I'm a police officer now. I'd appreciate it if you avoid giving me special treatment when I shop here. I know I'm being selfish, but... Oh, my apologies. I will respect your wishes then. That won't change the fact that you'll always be an important customer in my heart. Please do not ever hesitate to bring any problems to my attention. Southwark, my man. Welcome to Southwark's General Goods. Feel free to browse my wares. I sell the Crossbell Times and much more. He sure does. There we go, first issue of the Crossbell Times. Let's give it a read. Books. There we go. Wait, what does it say? Fifth stage of urban development plan announced. This is the future direction of the economy. So this is what books look like in Zero now. You gotta remember, this is made for like PSP originally, so they had to put that stuff real close up on the screen. So all you get is book. Breaking story. Fifth stage of urban development plan. The state government announced the next stage of Crossbell City's urban development plan in yesterday's urban planning meeting. This fifth stage consists of legislation to expand the maintenance of the geofront, deregulate office construction, encourage orbital vehicle usage, and much more. It seeks to address the needs of the city as its population and economy continue to boom. The development plan was launched 20 years ago and has now entered its fifth stage. This announcement was coupled with a positive forecast of the economy for the next 10 years. Favorable comments can already be heard. "I'm glad, frankly," says a woman running a street stall. "High growth will bring stability even to neighboring countries," says an international economist. "These predictions of the city's economic future will be crucial to foreign relations." Society. Acclaimed Arios McLean arrives again. Yesterday, 2 boys from the city got lost in the geofront. They were saved by A-rank bracer Arios McLean, associated with the guild branch in Crossbell. The situation was resolved without incident. McLean, after following leads from citizens, swooped into the scene and saved the boys. They were within a hair's breadth of being killed by monsters in a deep sector of the geofront. This was a feat truly worthy of his moniker, the Divine Blade of Wind. Questioning the careless management. The urban development plan has begun its fifth stage after 20 years. It has seen brilliant results year after year. However, the downtown district has not seen nearly enough of this work. With recent incidents that have occurred there, insufficient safety measures for children who may wander in, and unchecked monsters wandering in buildings, shouldn't this highlight the poor quality and slow-to-respond urban management happening in the district? We request a speedy response to this issue from the government. That's a little run-on-y. Plus, I also noticed that we got like wander in and wandering in buildings. That's a little redundant sounding. Also, don't blame any of the non-scenario text on me, Arvin, or Zerk. That's all Ribos. That's his fault. Although, technically, we're supposed to like proofread this several times. Subject to change. Unexpected guests appear. In other news, some unexpected faces have appeared during the recent incident. New to the CPD this year is the Special Support Section. They came in to save the 2 children on their own. McQuaid says they were not successful in their first mission because they didn't follow through. I don't know if that comma is necessary. This division was supposedly established to court public favor. How will they fare in the future? Oh wait, let me go back and I just love that caption. It's just like they're dumbfounded. First mission, a failure? Thanks a lot, Grace. Great reporting. Leisure, Crossbell's gourmet experience. Visit Long Lao Tavern and Inn by the Market on East Street, featuring authentic food made faithfully by the owner who hails from the Eastern Quarter in the Republic. Have some Long Lao Tan Men. Society, Grimwood Law Office for legal advice. Ian Grimwood, who has a law firm on West Street, is said to handle everything from debt consultations to corporate legal advice. Do keep the name Grizzly Grim in mind if you ever find yourself in legal trouble. Grizzly Grim. That's what we went with. Alright, top floor of Times. We got Ken here, whose name I wish wasn't Ken, but whatever. He's usually up here, and he's watching his mother here, Dorothy, who's always window shopping or whatever. This is Prada. She works here at, what's this called? Luca Boutique. There she goes. She says it right there. We have every style of clothing you could ever ask for, from kids' clothes to fancy business suits. Do not hesitate to ask me for assistance. So yeah, they sell like some higher end like clothes and stuff. I think at some point in the game it kind of like wears out its welcome. Stuff here on the top floor is usually more pricey, like here at Baker's Accessories. Don't let the price deter you. Every one of our products are of the highest quality. Not yet, but I think you get some more expensive stuff later. Old Man Honest here is usually talking about stuff back in the day or about buying his wife a present. Then you got Janetta. She's usually on the top floor. Sometimes she goes downstairs. I don't know what she does exactly. I guess she does a little bit of everything. And you got Hanson here who sells shoes. I think he's independent, but he also sells a lot of Stragas. You see that he's got Stragas like on one of his display cases over there. So let's see, we hit up everything. There's one thing we forgot to do. Let's actually go back to the SSS building. If you'd like, you can talk to Sergey again. Turbo mode over to him. Taking care of smaller support requests is the special support section shop. It's up to you whether you complete them or not, but at least head to the police department later. And if you want to learn about fine-tuning your enigmas, you should stop by the orbital store too. Roger that. Already did that. They didn't write a unique flag for in case you already did it. Let's go to the top floor. Or rather, the roof. Talk to that cat again. Oh, there's a cat up here? You're too adorable. Seems like this has been his home for far longer than it's been ours. Actually, he's probably been here since the Crossbell Times stopped using this place as their main office. Psst, psst. What's your name, little fella? His name is Cope. Is that a name you just came up with, Tio? It's really cute. No, I was not the one who originally named him. Anyway, I think it would be best if we stick with Cope. No complaints here. Let's try and bring the guy some food every now and then, huh? You know, I might have something here that Cope would like. I'm sure it'll be okay giving this to him. Give food. Yeah, you can give Cope fish that you catch or cat food. And since this is New Game Plus, I already have tons of fish in my inventory. And the better the fish, the better thing you'll get in return. Nyan nyan. Go, Cope. I love this. This is so adorable. Funya! Got a heal quartz. Giving us a gift, huh? Thanks, Cope. Where in the world did you find this, though? But you only get it, I think, once per day, I want to say. I want to say you get multiple chances per chapter. It's not per phase. I want to say it's once per day in the game. And usually every chapter has like 3 days or so, 3 or 4. I believe this area is known as West Street. Yep, it's one of the larger residential areas in the city. Just look at all of the apartments. I'm actually familiar with most of the people in the area. Is it okay if I take some time to catch up with them when we get the chance? So I take it you grew up around these parts? Hell, we're already here. May as well do some meeting and greeting before we head out. I'm sure you've been longing to see your friends and family. We can accompany you too. Thanks, guys. I should meet up with Auntie at Belheim, and Oscar, who's probably over in the bakery. Felt like that first comma was unnecessary. Not sure. West Street is a residential area in the western part of the city. The streets are lined with homes and apartments, along with the occasional shop. Our main protagonist, Lloyd, was born and raised in this district. So yeah, the other door at the SSS leads to West Street, as does the main road in Central Square, obviously. Here's Ryu and Armory. They usually play here on West Street. Being a police officer is a busy job, Ryu. Besides, patrolling is one of our duties. Putting that aside, you guys really need to cut it out with the dangerous stunts. Weird. I have no clue what you're talking about. Barrick here usually sits at the outdoor cafe in front of Morge's. Talks about the news and whatnot. This guy right here, Ponce? No, Ponce, that's his name. He usually, like, roams this one part of the street. He's really into photography. See, I love taking photos, so driving a car out of the city to take some photos would be very convenient. That's a little redundant with photos twice. I might change that. Elsa here. She co-owns, I guess you could say, Tally's General Store. Her husband, Tally, owns the place. We'll go in there a little later. Let's start off with Morges. Hey, Oscar. Another one of Lloyd's longtime friends. Well, if it isn't my man Lloyd. So you finally decided to stop by and visit your old buddy Oscar, huh? It's been way too long, dude. What's it been, a year since we last hung out? Seriously, it's been 3 years, Oscar. You're as blissfully unaware as ever. Something's never changed, huh? I blame the fact we kept sending each other letters. I never really felt like you were gone for that long, you know? Now let's see. You got a little taller, but I see you still haven't outgrown that baby face. Shut up. He got you there. You must be an old friend of Lloyd's then? Yep, the oldest. Name's Oscar. I work as an apprentice here at Morge's Bakery. And you three must be this dummy's co-workers. Yep, the name's Randy. Nice to meet you. I'm Ellie. Tio Plato. Nice to meet you guys. You could tell we work together even though we aren't wearing uniforms? Sometimes I can't tell whether he's completely oblivious or a lot sharper than he lets on. What's up? You look like you're thinking pretty hard, buddy. Oh yeah, you still cook, Lloyd? What? I mean, a little. I had to help my uncle with chores, so that meant cooking every so often. Sweet, then take this. Reunion gift from yours truly. Hope you'll get some use out of it. The recipe notebook. Thanks, Oscar. This actually looks pretty neat. It even has spots to write down variations of different recipes. And since all of you have access to it, how its use can vary from person to person. I think you'll get a kick out of it. It'll certainly keep us well fed. It's a little embarrassing, but my entire cooking experience consists of baking cookies. What about you two? Well, I can really only roast and boil stuff. You know, food you'd have camping out in the wilderness. If a recipe has a clear and concise protocol I can follow, I can manage. If you're interested, I'd be happy to teach you a thing or two. When you talk to people or examine certain things, you can sometimes learn cooking recipes. Recipes are recorded in the recipe notebook. If you use the recipe notebook, you can prepare dishes with various effects at any time. When cooking recipes, there is a set chance to get a supreme or peculiar variant of each dish. Cooking can sometimes result in a failure too. Most ingredients used in cooking are sold at the general stores and various shops. Monsters may drop them as well. So the recipe notebook, it should be all filled out. Yeah, it is. I finished it on my last playthrough. So I already got everything. Finding recipes is a bit harder starting with 0, and this would last for like 4 games, I think. Yeah, like it said, some recipes you find, like what was it in FC and SC? It was eating new things, like you eat a new item and you learn the recipe. And I think there were some that might have been like in chest or something, like some of those weird ones in SC, like the battle ones. But in 0, you have to learn them from talking to NPCs or inspecting like a book or something that would have a recipe written down on it. So it's actually a bit of a challenge to get all of them in game. You are not going to find them just by shopping or, you know, not looking for them. You have to actively make an effort. Let's talk to you. You're Bennett. Bennett is the daughter of the owner here at Morge's. Welcome. Please pay your bill at the register. I was a little stale to start off with. I like Bennett though. Not a great start, but she's a fun NPC. Got any more, Oscar? Hey, I heard that you've become a pro at baking. Wendy mentioned it in a letter about how you. I thought we changed this already. I thought I changed this. There must be multiple versions of this line. So because you could come into Morge's, not necessarily right now when we did, but say you wait a day, or maybe you wait after the prologue and you come in here in chapter 1 or something. So because of that, like, Lloyd and Oscar can have their first exchange in multiple locations. So there's a typo here. This says invest instead of invent. And I'm pretty sure I changed this, but this just means that there's multiple instances of this text box on the spreadsheet. And I only changed one of them. Oops. My bad. I'll fix that tomorrow when I'm editing this video. That's usually what happens now that I've done 2 of these. Is I'm in the middle of editing and I say like, oh, that's messed up. And then I just go fix it when I'm editing. And this is Morge's, the namesake of the bakery. So Bennett's father, Oscar's boss. Oscar's like the apprentice. Oh, and Katarina here really loves the bakery. She comes in here all the time. All right, let's head into the Belheim. So nothing on this floor. We got 3 apartments. This is Pansy. Cleaning laundry, washing the dishes. Dad insists don't know how to clean at all. It's because they're so lazy. Oh, hey, aren't you the little girl I used to see at Wendy's place back in the day? Are you friends with my sister? Oh, no, it's nothing. Sorry for bothering you. Figures she doesn't remember me. It's been 3 years after all. Nice, Lloyd. Didn't know you liked him that young. No, I do not. Are you trying to destroy my reputation? Fucking Randy. Yes, this is Wendy's little sister Pansy. So that's how Lloyd and Wendy knew each other. Lloyd used to also live in these apartments, as did Wendy. In this apartment, we'll find Koken. He's Ryu's father. That damn fool of a son. And in this apartment is the real main attraction. Long time no see, Uncle Miles. Oh, well, if it isn't little Lloyd from next door. What a pleasant surprise. I'd heard that you were back in town, but I didn't think you'd grown so much. I hardly recognize you. I may have grown physically, but I'd hardly call myself a man. I wouldn't say that. You did pass the qualification exam to become a detective after all. I'm sure if Guy were still here, he'd be proud of his little brother. You really think so? I'd be glad if that were truly the case. He absolutely would. Don't worry about it. By the way, did you want to stick around? The wife's in the kitchen if you want to say hello. I'm sure she'll be ecstatic to see you again. Yeah, I'll do just that. So, Miles here is, he's just talking about it, is, not Lloyd's uncle by blood. So, like, Lloyd's mentioned, like, a couple of uncles. He said he used to live with his uncle in his uncle's town. He's not referring to this man. He's not referring to Miles. He's referring to his actual blood uncle who lives in Calvert. I don't know which side of the family that's on, but that's where Lloyd was living for a few years before he enrolled at the police academy. Miles here is his, like, honorary uncle, not by blood. He is Cecile's father. Cecile being Lloyd's late brother Guy's fiance that we saw in the flashback and who he spoke with on the phone. So their families are so close that Miles and his wife Letty here view Lloyd as their own kid because they were so close with Guy and Lloyd. Oh? Is that really you, Lloyd? It is. I'm home, Aunt Letty. I'm sorry it took so long for me to visit. It should have been the first thing I did. Oh, Lloyd, you finally come home. I heard that the CPD basically hired you on the spot. So, how is it? Have you already started working, or are you in training? It's fine so far. It might be a bit too easygoing for my taste, though. Our chief kind of just lets us do our own thing. Really? That sounds like an enjoyable place to work to me. Honestly, I'm just happy to see you looking healthy and cheery again. I'll have to thank Adios next time I'm at the cathedral. Lloyd, if you ever need anything while you're living in the dorms, you'd better let me know right away. You can count on me to charge in and protect my little angel. Come on, Auntie. I'm not a little kid anymore. And besides, I've been living in dorms since I was enrolled at the police academy. Oh, don't be such a stranger, Lloyd. You just came home. Don't be afraid to rely on your auntie to help you out. That's Comma Splice. Sorry, Auntie. I'll be sure to drop by again soon. I'll bring some desserts and we can catch up over them. Lloyd's aunt just totally smoked him. Despite her seemingly gentle nature, she appears to be quite the formidable force. On that note, are they even related by blood? Maybe not, but they're as close as any family as I've ever seen. I'm a bit jealous. Wait, do they have anything else interesting? Probably just tell me to get in touch with Cecile. She's too powerful when she gets like this. Some things never change. Yeah, Letty's kind of an interesting card. And that does it for Belheim. There are no other apartments in Belheim. There never were. On to Villa Raisins. Which the sign we edited, that sign looks like crap in original Zero no Kiseki. That texture is actually taken from Ao no Kiseki's PC version, which for whatever reason looks a lot better than the one in Zero. My husband has yet again decided to redecorate our apartment. This is Olga. She's married to this man, Old Man Levick, who is a former member of the Crossbell Diet. And he really likes to rearrange the apartment and buy new stuff that he doesn't need. If you go this way, there's a secret exit to Villa Raisins that leads to a treasure chest. Found Eagle Eye. Wait, you don't live in Villa Raisins. Get out of here. Oh, treasure chests. Up on the second floor, we have Kendall. Kendall's an architect. He's designing the new City Hall building, as well as other things. In fact, I think like there's like weird lore behind Kendall where I think he's from like a family of architects, and I want to say his grandfather also designed the current City Hall building that's been around for like 50 years or whatever. And this is his wife, Brigitta. They treat this as if like this is an office when it's not. I don't know why. I thought that was weird when I first saw it. I was like, are we sure that's accurate? It's like, nope, that's what she says. Well, good morning to you. It is I, Sammy the maid. I like Sammy. Are you here to visit one of the tenants? Levick lives on the first floor and Kendall lives on the second floor. And this apartment is locked. Next up, tallies. Also, they won't let you leave the city. I can try, but this is the city's west exit. We have no reason to leave the city at the moment. Let's knock out our work inside the city first. Alright, Tally General Store. So Elsa's husband, Tally, he sells the same stuff you can pretty much get at Times. Also, you can get the Crossbell Times here. Welcome to my store. If you're looking to stock up on daily necessities, you've come to the right place. Tally General Store is your #1 stop. It's my #2 stop, actually, because I'd rather go to the department store. And this is Momo, their daughter. She's really shy, and she wishes she could be friends and play with Ryu and Armory, too. Let's ignore that building for now. No reason to go searching out Grizzly Grim. Look at this upper-class neighborhood. Look at that fancy mansion. Residential street. This is Crossbell's Northwest District. It's been home to upper-class families for as long as I can remember. Nothing but big-ass mansions around here, huh? Yeah. Ellie is acting strange. The residential street is a quiet district in the northwest part of Crossbell City. There are no special facilities, but the large mansions are home to various affluential people living their lives. It would be a good idea to stop by these homes occasionally while patrolling the city. We can speed this up a little bit. We don't need to hit up all these people's homes. Though I would like to go down here. Is there dialogue for this? No, there's not. But this is another entrance to the geofront. I'm surprised no one says anything. Old Man Ray's here. You know, I went through this recently to like make sure this part of the prologue was clean for you guys to see. And I feel like this guy's name is supposed to be like a pun on the fact that like he really likes the sun. I was like, wow, his first dialogue is about like sun rays and warmth and whatnot, and his name is Rays. Did they do that on purpose? The answer to that question, if we go into this house and talk to this man, I finally managed to get a break from work, so I think I'll take this opportunity to drink my wife's excellent black tea. Actually, where even is she? I don't see her. She might be watering the plants still. She is. My wife is about as relaxed as a person can get. Suppose I can't really fault her for it. Guess I'll just brew the tea myself. Darn it, you didn't say what I was hoping you would say. Well, the reason I bring this up is because this guy works in stocks and bonds, and his name is Bond. Isn't it so clever? Falcom's so smart. They do this all the time. Like, if you notice, I bring this up every time because it's the best example of how, like, dumbing names can get sometimes in Kiseki games. But the guy who sends Richard the letter in his Star Door, where he goes and meets that former intelligence division guy in the rain, that guy's name was Cinder. Get it? Because he was the one who sent that secret letter to him. It's so dumb. Falcom's so stupid. They keep doing this. Whoa, this mansion is really impressive. It looks like the gate is closed though. Hey Lloyd, wouldn't it be rude to loiter in front of someone's house if we don't have any business here? Yeah, you're right. Whoever lives here must be pretty famous. It'd be wise to not intrude on them so suddenly. Alright, just ignore that. So that goes to the north exit, can't leave there. I believe Representative Campbell lives in this mansion. Representative Campbell? Who's that? He's the leader of the Republican faction of the Diet. You'd be surprised how far his influence can reach. It'd be wise for us to not bother him if we don't have any business here. Good call. I think I'll pass on meeting him until we have a reason to. Alright, to the next district. Also, there's this guy. This is Pintos. He just walks this one route and talks about stuff because he's upper class. Do. I love this district. It's got such a nice feel to it. It's the entertainment district. What's that over there? Oh wow, this is amazing. This is home of the continental-renowned theater troupe Ark-in-Seal. Oh yeah, aren't their tickets ridiculously expensive though? Everybody enjoying themselves? Are we all ready to go to our next stop? Aw man, can't we go inside and watch one of their performances? Sorry to burst your bubble, but their only show today is later in the evening. You can spend the night however you like. If you're a fan or simply interested, I would wholeheartedly recommend you stop by. Okay everyone, allow me to lead you to our next destination. I like coming out here to chill. Been a hell of a lot of tourists lately though. More tourists have been coming here thanks to how convenient the bus lines are. The entertainment district has a lot to offer, so that makes it one of the more popular spots for them to visit. That's why our work is so important. If something were to happen to them, it could snowball into an international crisis. A suboptimal situation, I would think. The entertainment district is a commercial area in the northern part of the city. The various casinos, hotels, and theaters garner an incredible amount of tourists. Though not all of it may be accessible yet, you should try visiting them as you progress through the story. Yeah, they will not even let me go in the casino yet. Is this a casino? Sure is, the illustrious Barca Casino. It's my go-to place in Crossbell City. So how about it, guys? A little casino action to celebrate our newfound division? Please try to use your brain, Randy. Come on, Elle. Give me one good reason why we shouldn't. Well, for one, we're in the middle of training today. Sorry, Randy. You're just going to have to deal with it. That first line should just be one sentence, I think. This is Tello. He wanders around. He likes to party a little bit and go to casinos. There's always a bunny girl in front of Barca. We also got Barker Pym? Yes, Pym. You've come to the right place, my man. We've got the booze and girls. Now we just need you. Come in and enjoy the time of your life for the low price of 1,000 birra an hour. So there are a few Barkers around the city. That might be an exaggeration. There might be two. But it's really unclear like what business they're advertising. They're just like, hey, come check out our shop. But it's like, which one is it though? And Lamanda here, she also wanders around the entertainment district. Sophia here, she sells ice cream. I actually like her. She's kind of weird. I believe the first time you talk to her, if you didn't have it, she gives you a recipe, I want to say. Did you guys come to check out the troops practice session as well? Fans aren't allowed inside, but you can watch them for free from the outside. Anyway, nice to meet you, my fellow comrades. So Tap and Police here are huge Ark-in-Seal fans. Enormous Ark-in-Seal fans. Let's try going inside Ark-in-Seal. What's going on? Oh, don't be so stubborn, Risha. I promise it's not a big deal. Stay with me for as long as you'd like. No, really, I couldn't. You don't need to do that. I'll find a cheap and cozy apartment to settle into soon. I can ask City Hall's information desk about it, right? Yep, that's probably the quickest and easiest way to go about it. You can take care of your citizenship application while you're there, too. I suppose you're right. I'm sorry for constantly bothering you for help, especially after all the guidance you've offered during our practices. Holy smokes! Isn't that Ilya Platire? Ilya Platire? I think I've seen her in a few magazines. And who might you be? My sincerest apologies, but Ark-in-Seal has a performance starting at 6 p.m. If you're a fan, we would appreciate it if you would return at a later time. Sorry, sir. We didn't intend to come here unannounced. Please excuse us then. Boy, that was embarrassing. Thought we could go in there without any issues. Excuse me, but who exactly is this Ilya Platire? She is stunning. What? How could you not know who Ilya Platire is? Man, you've been living under a rock all these years? Say that again. Calm down, you two. To answer your question, Tio, she's a bit of a celebrity. Thanks, I'll see you tomorrow. Oh, pardon me. No, it was my fault. I shouldn't have been standing in your way. I should change that to we. It's okay. Have a nice day. Huh, she from the troupe? I've never seen her face before, though. Is she a new member? Into Hotel Millennium. Welcome to Hotel Millennium. We provide only the finest quality of services at our hotel. We make for the perfect place to rest in Crossbell, the entertainment capital of Samaria. You can replenish CP by staying in hotels and inns. Regular inns recover 100 CP, while luxury hotels recover 200 CP. Hold on, let me look at that again. Yeah, why is there a space between 100 but not 200? That's a mistake. It's been so long since I've seen this text. Holy crap. Rest, yes. 800 Mira is nothing. Oh, give me full CP. I'm so powerful again. Let's see, what's your name? You're Aaron. He usually roams the top floor. There shouldn't be anyone in these suites, I don't think. I think there's one guy staying in this room, I want to say. Yeah. Trant. I'm so done with walking. Man, what a pickle I'm in. Maybe I'll just give up and go home. Dorith, one of the maids that works here. Anyone else here? Probably not. Yeah, Hotel Millennium's got a cool layout. You got the other desk here. This is Kyle. So you can get the same service at both desks. Come out on the other end. Let's go into the back alley. What is this place? This is the infamous back alley of Crossbell. Though it's only an extension of the entertainment district, it's got its fair share of pubs and nightclubs you can waste the night away at. You sound like you're awfully familiar with this area, Randy. Of course, man. Didn't I tell you before? The clubs around here have a ton of sexy chicks, dude. Alright, you can stop talking now. Randy seems pretty addicted to these kinds of places. The back alley is an alleyway that connects to the central square. You can find stores such as Jazz Bar Garante and Antique Shop Imelda here. While the prices may be expensive, you can purchase many useful items here. Try visiting when you have the chance. You fine folk tourists by any chance? You free right now? How about coming into my humble shop? If that's the case, then leave it to Bish. I'll introduce you to a real wonderful place. Come on, don't be shy. Follow me. What a disgustingly enthusiastic man, and in such an unlawful line of business. Oh man, you guys brought a kid with you? Oh, whatever, it's fine. I'll overlook her this one time. This ain't a good place for kids to be in, little lady. You haven't realized that yet? I can tell Tio doesn't enjoy being treated as a child one bit. Also, a lot of NPCs wander around Crossbell, so they have a propensity to get stuck on you when you're talking to other people. That happens a lot. I believe your name is Iris. She's a hostess. Oh yeah, and Randy already knows her, because of course he does. Alright, let's go into Randy's favorite bar. You need something? Sorry, we're not open yet. Oh, this looks like some kind of jazz bar. Right you are. Place has a good selection of drinks. It's pretty popular around here, yeah? Jazz Bar Garante, huh? Wait a second. I think I remember my brother mentioning this place. There should be a space before I. Well, I'm not so cold as to give exhausted customers nothing for stopping by. I'd be happy to whip up a cocktail or two for you folks. Not for the kid, though. So I'm the only one left out, is that right? Tia really doesn't like to be treated as a kid. And Sandra is another hostess. If we try to go down here... Yo, kids. You got some business here or something? Can't let you kids pass here. It's private property up ahead. What's with these guys? They definitely ain't your friendly neighbors. Yeah, I think they're with the mafia. I'd like to investigate when we get the chance, but I'm a rookie detective. I probably shouldn't press my luck. I should change that to we. Sometimes those things are kind of like hard to really tell the difference on in the spreadsheet, and then you see it in context and you're like, it's a little awkward. Talk. Welcome, welcome. Feel free to inspect any and all of my prized antiques, dearies. Something about this place gives me the creeps. I love Imelda. So Imelda sells the real expensive accessories. Look at that, 25,000 Mira right off the bat. And let's inspect this case. Exquisite dolls are lined up side by side. Whoa, antique dolls? They look meticulously made. I would go so far as to call them masterpieces. Yeah, they're pretty amazing. Maybe not for that high a price, but still pretty cool. We are in an antique shop after all. They don't look like those dolls, though. What do you mean by those dolls, Ellie? Also, you see that treasure chest back there? Good luck getting that. It's gonna taunt you for hours and hours on end. Alright, back into Central Square. And we go up north. We've got this district. There's the library. That's City Hall. This is the administrative district. The City Hall, CPD headquarters, and the City Library. It certainly lives up to the name of the administrative district, since all the primary public offices operate here. I appreciate the tranquility of this area. I can see myself relaxing on those benches. Considering this is one of Crossbell's prime locations, I'm surprised at how unusually quiet it is around here. Well, the precinct is right here, so I'm sure we'll be visiting frequently. We definitely should try to remember the way here from the SSS building. Roger, boss man. Didn't we receive one of them support requests from HQ telling us to go there? May as well pop in there since we're already here. The administrative district is home to all administrative affairs and is situated in the northern part of the city. Many important government institutions and the CPD headquarters can be found here, so you'll be visiting the area quite often. In addition to Crossbell City Hall, you may browse an encyclopedia to broaden your understanding of the world at the City Library. Alright, Administrative District. We got Chroma here who sells juice. Orange, melon, apple, you name it. This is also, her stall has ridiculous textures. It has the word juice on it 5 times so that you know what she sells. Thank you, Falcom. Otto here, he usually talks about politics and whatnot. Tajik here works, General Affairs, I want to say is the division he works for at City Hall. Financial Affairs. He talking about that as a separate district, I can't remember. I guess it is, Financial Affairs is what he's a part of, whatever. This is Franz. Another of Lloyd's friends. He met him at the police academy. Is that you, Franz? I haven't seen you in a while. Whoa, good to see you, Lloyd. Been about a month since police academy graduation, hasn't it? Hey, didn't you pass the detective qualification exam, Lloyd? You pleased with your assignment? Wait, don't tell me. Were you assigned to one of the investigative divisions right off the bat? Huh? I don't think that's quite what happened. That exchange is a little awkward. What's with the half-hearted reply? Well, it's no big deal. It won't be much longer until your pal Franz here becomes a detective too. I'll be counting on you to help explain anything I don't understand in the textbooks. Yeah, leave it to me. I'll need to clear the air with Franz later. So Franz here is, he's like a regular beat cop. Oops, didn't mean to change leaders. He works for the Metropolitan Division, is what that part of the CPD is called. New City Hall under construction, authorized personnel only. I need to add more spaces to that bottom line. Sometimes there are signs like this that like clearly like one of the lines is supposed to be centered, but there's actually no real easy way to do that. So a few of them like look fine or look really close to centered. Like you think it's like magical programming, like, oh, we got to center the text. No, there's no other way to do it other than just add a bunch of spaces in front of the line on the spreadsheet. So it's really hit or miss. And sometimes it looks good on the spreadsheet and you're like, oh yeah, that's fine. And then we build the game and look at what it looks like in the game and it's not even close. It's like, damn it. It's real hit or miss. All right, let's check out City Hall. Oh, it's that girl we just saw. You're looking for information on the cheapest rental apartments? That seems redundant. I need to get rid of rental. Take this brochure. I'm sure it'll prove to be more than useful to you. Oh, I wasn't aware these existed. What a relief. Do you mind if I borrow one and read through it? Not at all, ma'am. They're there for you to take. I'd be careful with cheaper apartments if I were you. Wait. Oh, wait, never mind. I'm crazy. Thought I saw something I didn't. I need to hurry up and sort out my housing situation so I can return to practicing. That comma doesn't need to exist. My apologies. That should be a period. That's a comma splice. I started thinking aloud. Anyway, thank you for your assistance. Oh, I'm so sorry. Not at all. That was totally my fault. I should change that to our fault. I guess no one has looked at this main scenario text in a little while. Didn't we just see her not too long ago? See, that's probably unique text, or not? Did she come here if you... No. I guess you would have to go to Arkansas first. I think we'll be seeing more of her in the future. What makes you say that, Ellie? Before we talk to her, you can't get in there, but this way leads to the reception hall or the reception room. I can't remember whether or not we're final on that name. I think I'll do some cleaning. Maybe I'll start with the reception hall today. See, that's the name. These doors are locked. That's the mayor's office. And this is a really confusing green text. Crossbell City Government, City Hall Administrative District. See how that one's kind of better centered? Again, it's just spaces. We have no reason to go inside here. So, do they show it on... I would have to go outside. Let me go outside real quickly. So the way that, let me grab the mouse. The way this building is, like, designed. So this is the area we were just in. And this wing right here on the left would be the reception hall. So behind this door, up here would be the mayor's office. And it's not clear, but, like, you would think there'd only be, like, 1 or 2 rooms behind this door. This appears to be, like, where, members of the Diet go. So I believe the Speaker of the Diet's office is back here. And then it's not really clear what this right wing is. We think it's just like the Diet building, like that's where actual members of the Diet do whatever the Diet is. But it's not clear. You can't actually go past here. You never do. Even if you were to cheat and clip your way past this guardrail, you can't. There's no actual door here, so you can't find out what's back there. It just bothers me that Falcom was like really vague about like these offices and buildings are. And like every now and then, like a clip here has a line later in the game that makes it really confusing as to like what's behind one of these hallways and what's behind one of these doors. And it like contradicts something that's said in another part of the game. So we kind of had to like fudge it a little bit to try to make it logical. Is that lady from earlier going to be fine? I hope so. I referred her to those seedy downtown apartments. Those seedy downtown apartments. Alright, last for today, let's go into the library. Told you, Crossbell's so huge we'd even get through all of it today. This is Castle. She doesn't normally sit back here. This is where Uncle Miles works. He's the director of the library, so he's usually the one in that seat. And Castle usually roams the top floor. Nova's here. He's a student at a, he's a foreign student actually, if I remember correctly. Oh, good thing I talked to him. That's my first chapter of this game's collectible book, Back Alley Dr. Gwen. So he's a student at a university in Lamont State, if I remember correctly. So what were you saying? Yeah, he's too busy with his other studies, so he gave us this novel he has on us. Or on him, I mean. Back alley, Dr. Glenn. We'll be reading all of those much, much later. And you got Shanna here and her son Abby, who she's always up here reading books to. And then on the shelves, well, hold on, let me check the bottom shelves. Is there anything down here? This one. This is the first volume of a children's book called Mark and the Witch of the Deep Forest. I'll wait until we have all the volumes to read those. Eventually, more books appear on these shelves down here, like some fiction and non-fiction. See, new books this month. Mark and the Witch of the Deep Forest, first volume. You can find the newest volume on the first floor shelves. Don't forget to take a look if you're interested. But up here on the top shelves, this is your encyclopedia. So this is where you're going to find all of your Kiseki information that's going to become standard in every game now. They always include like a library for people that just forgot stuff or for whatever crazy reason jumped in with a game that's not the first game. So you got Arc and Seal. The way we designed this, I should give Ribos a shout out because he went through hell designing this. So in Zero, the library is ordered by alphabetically rather than by topic. So what that means is that it was originally alphabetized in Japanese. So in order to get it in English, everything had to be like rearranged. So he went through hard work to do that. And that's why some categories are written like this. Rather than the Holy City of Arteria, it's Arteria A, comma, Holy City of. So there are like a handful of entries that are like that. So you can read all about stuff in here. Arc and Seal is a famous theater troupe hailing from Crossbell City. Their acrobatic and passionate performances continue to draw large audiences. Its current leading actress, Elia Patire, is known as the Blazing Dancer and has many fans around the continent. A city-state housing the high seat of the Septian Church, Arteria is located at the center of the continent and acts as a gathering place for believers and church officials alike. The church comprises a number of organizations, including the Congregation for Divine Worship, which handles liturgical matters, the Congregation for the Sacraments, which handles administering the sacraments of the goddess, and the Papal Guard, which is responsible for protecting the Holy City of Arteria itself. I believe this is the first mention we have of this, that in addition to the Congregation for Divine Worship and Congregation for the Sacraments, we have the Papal Guard, which is kind of like the local army militia type thing that protects the Holy City of Arteria. Also, by the way, several entries in the library here in Zero are not translated or edited by us. The ones that are repeats are direct copies from Trails of Cold Steel. Not all of them, like I don't believe this Arc and Seal one exists in Cold Steel, so that's edited by us. But the other ones that overlap, like Arteria and Artifacts, they are just verbatim what's written in the library in Trails of Cold Steel. Artifacts are essentially ancient orbments. While both run on orbital energy, they are operated very differently. Because they were likely produced by the ancient Zemurian civilization, proper analysis is currently beyond our technological grasp. Artifacts are occasionally found within ruins across the continent, and many are capable of demonstrating power that exceeds the bounds of human comprehension. The Septian Church has such defined artifacts as premature gifts from the goddess, and claims responsibility for their collection and control. Phantom Thief B. B is an elusive thief who has stolen everything from jewels to orbital tanks from people and organizations across Lemuria. His strange, almost beautiful methods have given rise to a small, dedicated fan base. Though he sends messages to his intended targets and makes public appearances clad in a white cape and mask, B's identity remains a mystery. He calls his recent unusual thefts in Arabonia the liberation of beauty. The Bracer Guild. The Bracer Guild is a non-governmental organization acting to keep the peace and protect civilians wherever its numerous and continent-spanning branches reach. Its members are known as Bracers. Its guiding principle, to put the safety of civilians above all else, is both its greatest strength and a handicap, as it cannot involve itself in political matters unless civilians are directly threatened. Here in Crossbell, many international incidents have attracted strong bracers, such as the Divine Blade of Wind, Arios McLean, who have earned the citizens' support. Like, that last blurb wasn't in Cold Steel, so that one we had to edit. The Calvard Republic lies to the east of Crossbell State and was established after a democratic revolution roughly 100 years ago, Its current head of state is President Rocksmith. I believe I had a recent tweet about that. I want to say it's like 115 years ago. As of this game is when Calvert became a democracy, or a republic, I guess. It used to be a monarchy. Calvert is a vast country, and thanks to their long-standing open immigration policies, very culturally diverse. Many immigrants from the east have made Calvert their home. Although it has been significantly less hostile towards Erebonia since the signing of their non-aggression pact, the two nations have been at each other's throats many times over the years. Crossbell State. Crossbell sits on the western side of Zemuria between the Erebonian Empire and the Calvert Republic. While established as an autonomous state 70 years ago, its two neighbors still dispute its ownership. At its center lies Crossbell City, one of the continent's key centers of commerce. In addition to being a key station on the Transcontinental Railroad, the city is home to a major international airport. Actually go back and look at the Calvert one. There's an interesting term here. There it is. Non-aggression pact. So this is the pact that was signed in SC during chapter 3, 4, whatever it is, when we were visiting Grand Cell and everyone was talking about the non-aggression pact that Queen Alicia was pushing through, and eventually got them to sign. And there was like a technological exchange. Calvert and Erebonia both got samples of the R-Cells engine, if you recall. This is like a weird terminology thing that we kind of had to had fights over, is that throughout all of SC, which SC, by the way, is not like the most reliable localization in the series because of its kind of like troubled history. Like SC on the small details is kind of fuzzy sometimes. But throughout SC, it was never capitalized as non-aggression pact. It was not like a term. But because this is a copy straight from Cold Steel 1's library, Xseed did capitalize non-aggression pact. So the way we decided to do it with Zero is that if someone brings up the non-aggression pact and is referring to the non-aggression pact, the actual like signing document itself, the actual policy in place, capitalize it. It's the non-aggression pact. But if someone's saying it offhand, like a non-aggression pact, that non-aggression pact, then don't capitalize it. So you might see a couple of instances where it's not capitalized and ones where it is, and think we're being inconsistent, but it should be deliberate. Every instance should be deliberate. Eastern Quarter. A large city built by immigrants from the east in the Calvert Republic, the Eastern Quarter is rife with different cultures, people, and goods. It is said to be the intersection of the east and the west. It is a famous tourist destination lined with exotic buildings overshadowed by the rumors of a large crime syndicate. So Eastern Quarter is two things. For one, it's a real city, but it's not the name of the city. It's not Eastern Quarter, Calvert. It's the nickname for a city that's never been named as of to date. Falcom likes to do this. Like, in Sky the Third, in our localization of Sky the Third, I should say, I brought up the name Heimdall. We heard about Erebonia's capital, Heimdall. Like, Mueller says it once. It gets said in Olivier and Mueller's Star Door. And the thing is, until Trails of Cold Steel 1, Heimdall had never been named by Falcom in Japanese. It was with Sin 1 that Heimdall gets named. And the fact that it gets named in Sky the Third as Heimdall, and not the Imperial capital, was a liberation that Xseed took, that Brittany Avery took, because she was the sole editor of that game, so I assume it was her decision. So in our Western localizations, the name Heimdall going into Zero is already canon. And you'll see that it's actually, we have written it a few times in Zero, where it made more sense to just say Heimdall rather than Imperial capital. The Eastern Quarter is another example of that, in that just like how Heimdall for 6 games was, or 5 games I should say, was Imperial capital until it got named in Sid 1, so is the Eastern Quarter also an unnamed city. We have not been to Calvert yet, so we don't know what the real name of the Eastern Quarter is. We just call it the Eastern Quarter. It's kind of awkward and it really doesn't make sense in universe. Like, if someone were from Calvert, why would they call their city the Eastern Quarter rather than call it whatever its name is? That was the logic that led to Mueller calling the Imperial capital Heimdall in Trails in the Sky the Third. Because why would Erebonians just call it the Imperial capital and not its real name? Doesn't make any sense. But there you go. It's a very long-winded explanation. Also, one last thing, the Eastern Quarter is the setting of Gambler Jack, if you'll recall. The Epstein Foundation is an organization dedicated to continuing the work of Professor C. Epstein. It researches and manufactures orbments specializing in information processing and communication. The Epstein Foundation is also the sole manufacturer of battle orbits, which allows their users access to arts. Their recent Orbital Network project also promises to be the future of orbital communication. The Erebonian Empire. The Erebonian Empire is located to the west of Crossbell State and represented by the emblem of the Golden Stallion. The current emperor is Ugent Rice Arner. Despite the empire's rule by an antiquated nobility structure, it has begun to modernize due to the railway expansion efforts of Gileath Osborne, a veteran now known as the Blood and Iron Chancellor. Between its mechanized armed forces and private forces at the command of the nobles, Erebonia is always strained with its neighbors. Last year, Olivert, the Emperor's son, cooperated with Liberal to resolve a crisis there, becoming the talk of the Empire. The Fisherman's Guild. The Fisherman's Guild is an organized group of anglers working to spread fishing enthusiasm. Mr. H. Fisher, former noble fishing fancier, founded the guild in Grancel City. Their activities include seeking out and investigating fishing spots, recruiting and training new members, and in recent years developing new tools and bait. Unfortunately, in my playthroughs, we never really got to speak to Fisher much, but he is the president of the Fisherman's Guild. He's also the final challenge guy in Estelle's Fishing Sundor. The Great Collapse. The destruction of the ancient Zemurian civilization is estimated to have occurred 1,200 years ago. While the Great Collapse is commonly attributed to a natural disaster, this theory remains unconfirmed. This ancient civilization's end marked the beginning of the Dark Ages. 100 Days War. The 100 Days War was a war of aggression waged by the Empire against the Liberal Kingdom in 1192. The name is drawn from the 100 days between the start of the war and its church-mediated end. Initially, Liberal appeared to be at a significant disadvantage, with the Empire occupying a majority of their territory, but a single operation using the then-new patrol airships turned the tide of the battle. The reasoning for the war is not public knowledge, but the Erebonian Empire has since formally apologized to Liberal, calling the war a mistake born from an unfortunate misunderstanding. I believe that's like almost the exact words that appears at the end of the 100 Days War book from FC. Good old Hommel cover-up, am I right? The International Bank of Crossbell is a large banking organization which manages the vast quantities of money flowing into Crossbell and supports the economies of nations across the continent. The IBC's interests extend beyond banking too. In addition to providing most of the funding for the Epstein Foundation's Orbital Network project, the bank manages theme parks and other similar diversions. And Jaeger Corps. Incredibly skilled mercenary groups, which can be found all over the continent, are known as Jaeger Corps. Due to their combat proficiency and their willingness to take on morally gray contracts, they are often used as private armies. As such, several countries have passed laws against their hire and use. Which Liberal has, Erebonia has not, Crossbell has not because it can't, because the Crossbell government sucks. Le Mans State. Home to the Epstein Foundation and the birthplace of Professor C. Epstein himself, Le Mans is a state in the center of the Zemurian continent. It is also known for housing the headquarters of the Bracer Guild, which has branches all across Zemuria. That's all you get. We really don't know a lot about Le Mans, but they felt like they had to include it. The Liberal Kingdom is situated in the southwest part of the Zemurian continent. Rich in nature and history, the kingdom is ruled by the long-lived Queen Alicia II, a staunch advocate for peace. While a humble nation compared to those around it, its bountiful septium reserves, advanced technological capabilities, and Queen Alicia's skillful diplomacy allow it to stand on equal footing with any other. Last year, a large object of unknown origin appeared above Valeria Lake, disabling orbments nationwide. The crisis was resolved through the joint efforts of the Royal Army and the Bracer Guild. Michelin. Michelin is a newly popular luxury resort located southeast of Lake Elm. The IBC funded the construction of a high-class hotel and a theme park beginning 2 years ago. Mishi, the mascot character of Michelin, is becoming popular with citizens and tourists alike. The Non-Aggression Pact was an international treaty proposed by Queen Alicia II and signed in 1202 by the Liberal Kingdom, Erebonian Empire, and Calvert Republic in Liberal's Herb Royal Villa. While not legally binding, the pact has had a powerful effect. bringing an end to large-scale Erebonian and Calvardian military exercises near Crossbell and decreasing tensions between each nation. Orbital Arts. Orbital Arts are a kind of magic which can be activated by inserting a quartz into a battle orbment, a combat-ready orbment developed by the Epstein Foundation. These arts, as they are commonly known, are widely used by armies, police forces, and bracers across the continent for their ease of use. Sufficient training can give anyone access to their incredible power. The Orbital Network project is an effort by the Epstein Foundation to develop a network in which vast quantities of information can be exchanged between computers using a series of orbital cables. While initially a joint effort between the Epstein Foundation and liberal ZCF, the IBC is currently bankrolling the project. As a result, the network is currently being tested in Crossbell City. The Orbital Revolution was a technological revolution that saw its inception in the year 1150 with the invention of orbments. The public was initially skeptical of this technological leap, but the invention of the orbital telephone by the Epstein Foundation and ZCF's orbital airships quickly proved orbments' practical value. Orbments have since become an essential part of our daily lives. Orbital technology powers everything from essentials like heating and lighting to transport vehicles to even modern weaponry. What's more, advancements in technology have decreased the size of orbital engines, leading to the development of more capable and affordable consumer-level automobiles by the Verne and Reinford companies. And orbments. Orbment is a general term for devices that operate by drawing orbital energy from septium. This technology was invented by Professor C. Epstein, or rediscovered at least. The internal structure of an orbment allows it to interact with quartz, which in turn is manufactured from septium. This design allows for the manufacture of orbments with nearly limitless potential. Between their flexibility and ability to recover their internal orbital energy over time, orbments are significantly more efficient than combustion engines. Quartz. A quartz is a circuit with a crystalline structure made by refining and processing septium fragments known as sepith. While quartz are both an energy source and capable of producing a variety of phenomena, without the use of an orbment, they are completely powerless. Reinford Company. The Reinford Company was initially a gunpowder-based weapons manufacturer based out of the Erebonian Empire and known for its cannons and heavy firearms. Since the Orbital Revolution, however, it has expanded its operation to include railways and airships. This expansion has made it one of the continent's two largest companies, rivaled only by Calvert's Verne Company. Rimophiria. The Principality of Rimophiria is situated in northern Zemuria, and while the cold can be intense, it is blessed with abundant forests and lakes. The scenic views charm visiting sightseers. The Principality is also famous for its advanced healthcare services and a concentration of the continent's medical technology manufacturing, which together help cultivate and attract the most excellent medical doctors. St. Ursula Medical College, located in Crossbell City, was founded with the cooperation of the Principality. And if we go into the map really quickly, state map. Yeah, we can't go too far up, but Rimophiria is somewhere up there. It's not quite bordering Crossbell, but it's up there. Pretty directly north. Septian Church. The Septian Church is the most widespread religion in Zemuria and is based on the worship of the sky goddess Aetios. Its high seat is in the holy city of Arteria. Although its influence has decreased somewhat since the Orbital Revolution, it still has a significant presence in the continent's education and health systems. And Septium. The word Septium encompasses 7 types of precious stones mined across Zemuria. Viewed as symbols of mystery since ancient times, their value as a resource shot up practically overnight when the technology to refine sepith, or septium fragments, into quartz was developed. And nope, there's still 2 more. The Verne Company is a massive company headquartered in the Calvert Republic. Like its industrial rival, the Reinford Company, the Verne Company was a storied arms manufacturer that expanded into orbital research and development after the Revolution. Particularly worth noting are the company's innovative approaches to the development of orbital vehicles, such as orbital cars and buses. And Zeiss Central Factory, or ZCF, was founded as the Zeiss Engineering Factory in Liberal Kingdom's Zeiss City by Professor A. Russell, a disciple of the great Professor Epstein. ZCF was the very first orbit manufacturer to successfully develop an airship. They recently completed work on the high-speed cruiser Arcel, a feather in the cap of the Royal Liberalian Army. And that should do it. Whew. Wanted to get through the library and all the encyclopedia refreshers. We went long, but that's okay. That makes up for missing last week. When we pick up next time, we will complete our tour of Crossbell City. We still got to go to the IBC Harbor District, East Street, and Downtown District. And then once all that's done, we'll come back here to the Administrative District and go into the Police Department. We're supposed to be getting like a little debriefing tutorial there about support requests. But yes, hopefully that looked okay. We're just starting to get to know the city. There's so much to do, so many NPCs, so many lines of dialogue. A few things to clean up there, but nothing too major. Hopefully the city looks good to you guys. I'm out of breath. It's late Monday night. It's actually already Tuesday, I think, so I gotta get this stopped and edited for you guys to watch on Tuesday. See you guys next week, hopefully.